While every Space Marine is a heroic figure in his own right, some are just more heroic than others. Today I'm going to show you how I painted up my company Ancient from the new Space Marine Company Heroes box in the colours of my beloved Blood Angels. For this model I did a few minor conversions to show him as a son of Sanguinius, swapping the head for a Sanguinary Guard head, a Blood Angel's shoulder pad, and a blood drop symbol on the top of the banner pole. I also trimmed off the sculpted detail on the banner, as I have my own plans for what I'm going to put on there a little bit later on. Before we focus on the banner, let's start with painting the rest of this guy up. First off, red armour. Check out this video in the top right hand corner if you're interested in how I get my particular red armour. Next up, the 4th company have a green blood drop as their symbol, so I wanted to incorporate some green, and the cloak seemed ripe for this, using blended layers from dark to a medium green. Next up, gold! Nope, that's the Princess of Darkness, wrong clip. There we go, next up are the gold details. Gold parts painted up with Retributor armour and shaded with Reichland Flesh Shade, and now we can turn our attention to the main focus, the banner. I wanted to use this as a chance to improve my freehand with some tricky shapes. What I found, I'm pretty sure is just a fan-made banner from the Bolter and Chainsword, which you can check out the link in the description down below where I got this from. But it definitely fits the old school Blood Angels aesthetic. Red and yellow bands, a winged hand, and a sword. Does it get much more Blood Angels? The main colour is going to be yellow, so let's start with a layer of Vallejo Off-White to allow better coverage for the yellow in a moment. Now Vallejo flat yellow is alright, but I want a slightly bolder yellow colour. So I mixed some Uriel yellow into the mix, making the most of the saturated yellow while also being able to use the Vallejo flat yellow to rehydrate the chalky paint. Thanks so much, Games Workshop. Let's go over that with Cassandora yellow. While their yellows and whites can be a bit iffy, this wash really deepens the orange tones in the recesses of the banner, giving it a real depth and saturation of that yellow. Now to apply the red band, I measure using a metal ruler in order to divide the yellow with a Mephiston red third in the middle. Okay, background done, now let's get to some breath-holding precision work. I like to start by sketching out the outline for the shape of the freehand, starting with the sword. It's got the most straight lines, and I thought it would probably be the easiest shape to establish first. I add dots for the ends of the sword before drawing a straight line between them. Adding the points first makes it easier to avoid the bendy lines problem that will often plague freehand attempts. Speaking from personal experience here. I can then sketch on the rough shape of the sword hilt, blade, and pommel. That all went pretty smoothly, but sketching in the hand and wing details was not such an easy task. This is because the banner on the model is slightly different to the reference image I had, with the parchment with the words Blood Angels occupying part where in the reference image there's just a flat space. I first tried mapping the most extreme corners, similar to what I'd done on the blade previously, and drawing lines between them to get the right shape for the feathers. My first attempt was pretty off, so I came back in and cut into the design I'd previously drawn with off-white. This helped to re-outline the shape. With the outline established, I sketched in the individual feathers, taking some artistic liberties to make up for occasional lapses in brush control. Don't worry, when you're using a reference image, you're going to get a few stray feathers from time to time, but don't worry, I'm sure that even Sanguinius had his bad feather days. I also say sketch here because these lines are almost inevitably thick and uneven. The secret weapon to solve this? Draw the general outline, then cut back in with your background colour, in this case off-white, which will then become yellow. This works a bit like the eraser tool on Photoshop, making it much easier to get to the desired shape without needing to be absolutely perfect every single time. Once the outline is established, it's silver grey for the feathers, and then a mix of Vallejo red, off-white, and yellow to get a nice pink skin tone. Something like sunny skin tone would also work just fine here. The sword hilt gets some lovely Retributor armour, and the blade gets a coat of pale grey blue and a couple of blood drops for glorious melee combat. With the freehand complete, let's finish off the last few details so I can show you my completed 4th company champion. If you like this video, click on subscribe down below, and also while you're there, check out the description for a link to my Discord server, where we've got a lovely community of people sharing all their hobby progress. That's the place where you can let me know what you're up to with your company champions. Also tell me what model you want to see me do next from the Company Heroes box in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, my name has been Ollie, this has been my hobby, and I'll see you next time.